Hi, my name is Bill Pickard. I'm one of the faculty members and the chairman of the Department of Clinical Research. Uh, in this portion, we talk about our faculty and about ourselves, just to let you know a little bit about our research backgrounds as well. Our faculty has a very diverse background in clinical research, so we bring different things to the table. And as I've said in earlier videos, our adjunct faculty are the same way. The beauty of the adjunct faculty is they're still working in the clinical research industry and bringing actively things they've dealt with that day in the workplace to your classroom at night. So my personal background, I'm a pharmacist by training, and even though we're associated with a pharmacy school, it's all of our faculty are not pharmacists. We have PhDs and other backgrounds with us. My career in clinical research started when I did my pharmacy residency at Duke University Medical Center. And with Duke, that was the early days of clinical pharmacy and hands-on patient kind of things. But pharmacy residencies, you have to do a research project. So my research project was infectious disease division in the Department of Medicine. And during that time, I became passionate about infectious disease issues, infections, antibiotics, and those sort of things. So I actually dealt with an investigational drug in a clinical trial during my pharmacy residency. As time went on, I did finish my residency, worked for the pharmacy department, still worked for infectious diseases for a few years, but then virtually was offered a job as a faculty member in the Department of Medicine in the Division of Infectious Diseases. And part of that job was working primarily with hematology oncology, where I did antibiotic studies, antibacterials and life-threatening infections, as well as antifungals, which is a severe problem, life-threatening problem in patients with cancers, leukemias, bone marrow transplants. So I got to deal with a lot of those great new agents that were better than what was on the market already, and most likely safer, and they saved lives as well. And then as the era changed a bit in the early 80s, I still continued doing that, but the big threat of the early 80s was with AIDS. And Burroughs Wellcome, the company back then that was a separate entity in those days, developed the drug AZT, which was the first drug used in AIDS. So that was a very emotional time in healthcare, and we were able to get that assist getting that drug on the market in a timely fashion in that newly threat of disease state. And I primarily dealt with adult patients, but in my final years at Duke, before I came to Campbell, I primarily did pediatrics and adults. So I did go down to the pediatric, a lot more emotional, especially when you're a parent, and again in a lot of deadly diseases in bone marrow transplants. So the bulk of my background is in infectious diseases and the use of drugs in life-threatening infections. We are excited to be here with you, as all faculty are. So thank you for being part of us.